Hey guys, I'm back with another hero deck profile. It's post stain right now, so I got a spicy Destiny hero deck for you guys. Yeah, I know a lot of you hero guys are a little down because the sorc got hit, but trust me, with some of this Dane support, I don't really think you need it anymore. And so we'll get started with the main deck. So to start off with, two drill darks. So if you're familiar with like E heroes, this is pretty much your solid soldier, your extender of the deck. It pretty much makes your plays, helps you get into Cross Crusader, and definitely good for two, I guess. And he also does piercing damage, but doesn't really come up that often. But definitely worth playing, I find. One, two, Vion. So this guy is also one card Cross Crusader. He also like dumps Mist into Grave and starts your plays from there. And you can pretty much banish any hero from the grave and get a poly, which is good so you can get your D hero fusions as quick as possible. Definitely worth playing in this deck again. And two Shadow Mists. Yeah, Shadow Mist has a lot of utility because you could dump it and you could also special it with a hero lives and monster reborn, and pretty much you get your mass change and your dark claw, which still hasn't changed. It's still a win conditioning against a lot of decks, so you might as well use it. Got two Malleys. Fortunately, it's only at two. Hopefully, when July hits, they'll bump it up to three. You can make even more crazier plays and consistent plays when it's at three, testing some OCG stuff from before, but like we'll see how it goes. But still, it's still worth running as two. It's still a +1 extender. You can still use it as a fusion target, have it engrave, and use it as extender. Definitely worth playing. For one of's Plasma, he's really good in this deck. He's really easy to make as well too with Fusion Destiny. Like it's a one card Plasma with a Dreamer Engrave. It's skill drain on legs. I've been playing this card for probably last two ban lists, and I love it. This and Darklaw, it's hard out pretty much, and yeah, definitely worth playing. I find. This is a new boss monster I'm playing, Dreadmaster. You're probably kind of wondering how you can kind of get him consistently in the board. Well, when you play Dominance, which is one of the other fusion monsters you could use with Fusion Destiny, you could pretty much turbo it out with a bunch of other Destiny hero cards, and you can get this guy really big. Like, I swear to God, like last couple games, I literally got him to like as a 9K, 10K beater with other Destiny heroes on board. You could just pretty much go for a game. When he gets special summoned, also like they can't the D heroes that you have on the board, they can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. So you pretty much have an OTK setup with that. So I find it's worth running as a one of, and it's pretty cool too. You can never have enough boss monsters, and especially in this deck, you can get them out pretty easily. One Dreamer, he's a target engrave. He's pretty good because you can use him as extender in battle phase. When you get into a battle with one of your D heroes, you pretty much can special him from grave, and also he's good for protection as well too. So I use that Fusion Destiny play with Plasma, and pretty much he protects it and also gets them on board. So, and then the follow up turn when it's on your turn, you can go into even more plays because you have another Destiny hero on board. So I think it's worth running as a one of. Draw hand. So he's new. Pretty much he's very he's situational. Like he's good to have because if you put him in grave, you can get him on the next turn during the standby phase. You can just special summon him, and yeah, you get a draw, and you give your opponent a draw. But in some ways, it could actually hurt your opponent because I actually run certain hand trap in this build where it kind of like if you draw and then you draw the well. It's pretty much you'll see what I'm talking about when we talk about it. So I think it's worth running because especially if mass change set, you get that free special summon of a Destiny hero, and they could just go into Dark Law, and you can also rip that card from your opponent's hand as well too. So and get a +1 as well. So at most it's not a neg, that's for sure. It's probably like you even out as a 0. One Celestial, so he's another good target to get in your grave. Pretty much you banish another Destiny hero, and then you're able to get a draw too. So it's like a greeting grave. Also, when you have him on the field and you attack, and there's a face-up spell, you can pop that in attack declaration. And yeah, he's a good card to have. I find he's also a good target for Dystopia, which I also play, so you can do that 1600 burn damage. And one Disc Commander, again, he's really easy to do. You can use him as a target with anything with Fusion Destiny, and when your Fusion card gets popped by either Fusion Destiny or yeah, like especially with Dominance, when you dump it in there and he gets popped by Fusion Destiny or by getting destroyed or by card effect, you can actually special him from grave the next turn, and you get pretty much a +2. So it's a really good card, I find, and he's worth playing in this deck because it's easy to make. One Stratos, a good searcher. You can search any D hero, any hero card in general, and you could also, when you have enough cards on field, you can when you have enough heroes on field, you could just pop all the back row if you want. Definitely worth playing. So it's at 1. So Honest Neos, he's pretty much like a hand trap. Damage step, you can just bump it up. You can't call by the grave. It makes your guys big. So definitely worth playing as a 1 of. Okay, and that's it for the monsters. Now for the hero monsters. Now for the hand traps. So we play 2 Ashes. Ash, I find, is very good against most decks. It's pretty, it kind of stops most decks because everyone needs to draw and everyone needs to search and add to hand and all that. So I find it's good playing in the main deck. Also, I play 2 Drolls. So, as I said before with Draw Guy, Droll kind of has synergy with Draw Hand because when you have Droll in your hand and then you have Draw Hand in the grave on your opponent's turn, when they get the draw because the Draw Hand's effect, you could use Droll and Lockbird, and it pretty much locks them out from adding and searching and drawing again. So it's kind of a good lock. It's situational, but I think it's worth playing. Okay, now that's it for the monsters. Now to go to the spells. So we play 3 Fusion Destiny. I find this card is so good. It's pretty much like you could fuse anything from your deck to in your hand. You can unbrick your hand. When you draw into this card, it's just like you can make plays, and you can pretty much dictate on how you want to play the duel. And it sucks when it gets ashed, but you can get into dominance, Destiny Hero dominance. You can get into Dystopia. You can get into Dangerous to make your plasma play, which I like to do as well too. So pretty much what I like to do is to use an extender to link into Cross Crusader, put Fusion Destiny in one of the arrows, and then pretty much sit on it. Next turn with dominance, or even Dystopia, like if they either get destroyed by card effect or battle, or they pop, I could or they get popped by the actual Fusion Destiny effect, you can just special summon those D hero cards and just still have advantage, and it's just a really good card. I find like it's the way to go with heroes right now, especially with D heroes, and it's really fun to play. We also have D-Draw, Destiny Draw. This card is really great too. You just have a Destiny hero in hand, and it turns into a Pot of Greed. So if your hand's a little bricky with cards that you can't really extend with, but you have D heroes, you could just pretty much start discarding them with this card and just start plussing and start going to plays, and hopefully you run into Fusion Destiny, which most of the time you usually do, because it's, you know, when you have your pot of greed, usually good things happen. And yeah, and then it also puts your Destiny heroes in the grave, which a lot of the cards I have, the Destiny heroes, they have good graveyard effects, so definitely a staple in this deck. 3 Call by the Graves. So again, it's a hero deck. We don't like hand traps, so you play 3 Call by the Graves. Pretty self-explanatory. And you need to run 3 because you don't want to get your play stopped. So now to move on to Mass Change. So I reduced Mass Change to 2 just for the sake of the deck. The focus is mostly on the D heroes, and I'm not running as many mass heroes right now because I put more space for the Destiny hero cards. So, but still, Darklaw, Anki, they're still win conditions again in a lot of decks, and you can still go into OTK plays, and definitely worth playing. And yeah, Darklaw is still a thing, you know, against Salads as well. So definitely still need to play Darklaw. 1 Rhoda. So generic warrior searcher. So you need this, especially to search some Destiny hero cards, since they don't really have a spell of their own. They don't have like an e-call for themselves. So this is pretty much what you have to play. Unfortunately, it's only at 1, but hopefully the Konami makes changes to that. 1 Monster Born extender, pretty self-explanatory, very powerful card. Monster Born, the Shadow Mist, and you're able to, you know, make a Darklaw, or just Monster Born any of the D hero fusions you have, and then start making plays after that. Hero Lives. Yeah, another very powerful card. Still, unfortunately, you know, it's only at 1, but it's, I guess, at 1 for a reason. You can Hero Lives your Shadow Mist to Mass Change. Hero Lives into your Stratos. Make big plays with that. Definitely worth playing as this end is a staple. 1 Poly, searchable with Vion. Good card to draw into because you can, you know, make D hero fusions. It's a great one of. Okay, now for our traps, we run 2 Infinite Impermanences. Thank God they reprinted this because this card was so expensive before. Yeah, it's just really good to stop your opponents. It's pretty generic. It's a good card going first or even going second. If you set it also, you could just put it in a proper column. If your opponent forgets that you set it over there, and you could also stop back row as well too if you set it in a proper place. So what I like to do is set it at the EMZs, and then hopefully my opponent forgets that he shouldn't have put some certain important spell card over there, so he can negate that as well too. So yeah, definitely worth running. And then this is some new spicy cards that are in the new Dane set. 3 Crackdowns. I love these cards. It's pretty much like a generic Widow Anchor. Fortunately, when it gets popped, the card goes back to your opponent's side, but you pretty much, you know, you can stop your opponent's normal summon, just Crackdown, and then watch them cry pretty much. It's just, they can't really do much after that. And then you can use those, unfortunately you can't attack with those cards that you crack down. You can use them as link material and go into plays after that, but still a great interrupt, I find. It's just like, it's a great card to, especially if you're running a going first deck. Alright, so that's the main deck. Time to go into the extra deck. So we play 2 Darklaws. They're nice and pretty. I got the second ulti, as you guys probably remembered me mentioning from my last video. This is an amazing card. It's a Macrocosm on legs, nice boss monster. You can buff it up with Honest Neos. stops salads, stops cards that need your graveyards. Pretty self-explanatory. Great to run as a two of. And something new. 2 Cross Crusaders. Great card. Pretty much, Summon Sorc is gone, but this is, to be honest, like your new Summon Sorc. Pretty much, you get to special summon a card from the graveyard, like a D hero card from the graveyard, into one of your arrows, or get it onto the field, and then also you can tribute away and add a card to your hand. So if you have Poly in your hand and you want to make a play to make a nice D hero boss monster, you can do so as well too. Or you can even just link climb into this link 3 that I have that I'll be showing you guys pretty soon. And definitely a great card. And there are a lot of plays out there, and especially if they actually bump up Mali right now, like you can go consistently into like Dread Decimator and a Dystopia and have some back row. It's a pretty good board to have, I find. 2 Dystopias, good card to find, a good card to have in your deck. It's a nice beefy boss monster for D hero decks. You can get it with if you special it with Dreadmaster. It adds a lot of attack to him as well too. Also, it's burn damage if you could target a level 4 D hero. I have a lot of cards that most of them are like the level 4 1600 attacks, so you do easy 1600 burn damage. Also, when you have it underneath Decimator, you're able to pop a card, or just recently I actually found out if you buff it with Honest Neos, you have the pop as well too. So definitely something worth using as well. 1 Dominance. So this guy's the new guy in the block. Really good card, I find. Enables OTKs. Definitely affects your opponent's hands when they draw. So pretty much with this card, you're able to excavate the top 5 of cards of your deck or your opponent's deck, and you could just change the order. So if your opponent has a pretty good top deck coming, you could just nope, and just put all those cards in the bottom, and then hopefully make them draw shitty. And he's a good card too, especially when you use him with Fusion Destiny. You get your Disc Commander, your Celestial, or in my case, a lot of times I use Dreadmaster. You can set up a nice OTK for the next turn, and especially when the Fusion Destiny pops, and then pretty much go for game. He's really cool. I don't find that you need to run him as 2, because you could just recur him with Cross Crusader, because you could just revive, special summon him from the grave. So definitely a really good card to run. 1 Anki, so you could pretty much still do the Anki Darklaw combos. Pretty self-explanatory. You can also burn, go attack directly as well too. So definitely a good card to go for in time for OTKs. 1 Dangerous. He sets up pretty good plasma plays. So in my case, when I Fusion Destiny him, you pick Mali, Shadow Mist. You get to add the Stratos, normal the Stratos, special the Dangerous, have the Mali engrave. So that's just, it's a first turn plasma. So I know a lot of people used to say oh, plasma's so hard to special summon, but no, not with Fusion Destiny and this card. So definitely worth running as a 1-of. Dread Decimator. He's an alright card. He's easy to go into now, and then you can also link climb into him with Cross Guys, and he's like a good traffic commander, I guess. He has those good arrows and adjusts the attack, so pretty much he'll change Dystopia's attack, so you'll be able to pop cards. So definitely worth running as a 1-of. And 1 Wonder Driver. He's pretty situational. He's more mid to late game. Also, you can get Fusion Destiny and Poly when you special summon a card or normal a card into his zone. So I think he's worth running as a 1-of just in case you're in a really grindy game and you've kind of ran out of your Cross Crusaders. I think he's definitely worth playing as a 1-of. 1 Adoration. It's a generic it's a generic fusion. So if you have kind of a bricky hand and you have like a, I don't know, like a mist or a combination with like a D hero or kind of a wishy-washy hand with heroes that don't kind of like have the same archetype, you could just use that and you could just pretty much get them on board and make plays. You can do the underclock taker ability as well too. Yeah, he's decent as a one of, I find. For utility, I got one unicorn, so pretty much, spins any card from your opponent's field back to their deck. Definitely worth running as a one of, especially since back row removal is still a serious problem with this against most decks with heroes because they have pretty poor back row removal. Nightmare Phoenix, again, a pop for back row removal. Worth playing as a one of. And Boral Sword. He's an OTK. If you can get him out, great. Most of the time you don't really need to because you can just OTK with Dreadmaster and Dominance and all that. But definitely still worth running, especially if you have enough manhunts and you're able to get link plays and all that. So that's my D hero deck. That's what it is for now. I had a great time playing it today. I had a blast. I just lost to Sky Strikers, which is unfortunate, but he was playing pre-ban list, so we'll see how it goes afterwards. And so just wanted to keep you guys updated on what I'm running. And I haven't seen a lot of Destiny hero builds, so I thought maybe I should put mine up and then see what you guys think about it. And anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Here's me signing off.